Hello. I just did my civic duty for my city. I voted. And there was only like 3 people on the ballot I voted for. Like 3.
Hello?
One was a lesser of 2 evils type deal.
Hello?
One was a joke vote because I voted for Prince Mongo. And the third one, I voted for him because it was either him or
He's not here right
it was either
now.
the old guy
We
with
talked to
the same
somebody
name
yesterday.
as me, Jeff, or it was the young guy. And the young guy is as young as me, and well, I voted. And then I put my name in the ballot for everything else. So write in your own name or my name. Anyway, side note, I was thinking about coming up with this cool t-shirt for politics, and it's going to say, vote for you or me, but I'm the better choice. That's what it is say. That's what it is say. Anyway, so vote, go out and vote if you live in Memphis. And when the political election comes in, go in and vote. And vote Jeff Scarborough. If you can't find anybody else, vote Jeff Scarborough. And funny story, but I'm against raising taxes. So we had a referendum that wanted to increase the tax by a penny, which it actually is supposed to increase the tax by 1/2 cent. But here's the thing, we're already at 0.25, so increasing it by 0.5 would make it 0.75, which would round over to a penny. So it's actually increasing it by a whole penny. Tricky tax people. Government's always tricky about the taxes. Always tricky about taxes. The government's always tricky about taxes. Watch out for the government. Stealing your money. Taxation is theft. With taxes. So always vote against taxes. Always vote against taxes. And this time the government's so tricky, they trying to got the police and the firemen on the pro-tax side. Come on. Police and firemen are on the pro-tax side. Really? Really, police and firemen? These police and firemen they want their health insurance, but they want to increase taxes to get their health insurance. They need to figure out a better way. Like, I don't know, either A, do a better job where you worth your health insurance, or B, arrest some of the politicians that are in office and take their salaries to pay for your health insurance. Come on, use your brain. Stop making me, the taxpayer, have to pay more every time I shop because it's a sales tax. Prices on items that I buy is already too expensive anyway, and you want me to pay an additional penny or half a penny, which rounds up to a whole penny, every time I spend $1, I gotta pay another penny. Actually, it's 9.25 cents right now in the state of Tennessee because of Memphis. But if we vote yes for this 0.5 city additional city sales tax, it will increase it to 9.75, which will round up to 10 cents. It's already too high. The prices of the stuff in the store is too high. Then I got to pay an additional 10% on that with sales taxes just to buy stuff. This stuff I'm buying is already too high in the first place. Tell the corporations to drop the stuff by about 25%. That way we can afford to pay the 10% sales tax. Anyway, government's being tricky. They're trying to get the police and the firemen, so the blue, everybody supporting the law enforcement will go along with the taxes. I voted no because I'm anti-tax. But this referendum is probably going to pass, which means I'm going to now have to pay 10 cents, maybe 11 cents, every time I spend $1. I'm already spending $1. There should be no sales tax. Sales taxes should be illegal. Taxation is theft. I should pay $1. And I'm buying it, right? Why the hell am I paying sales tax? I'm not the seller. If anybody should be paying the sales tax, it should be the seller, which is the corporation selling the item in the store. It's a sales tax, not a buyer's tax. So, I'm all for sales taxes. Sure. If we put them on the corporation selling the items. Stop putting them on the consumers. Put them on the corporations. Get them all for the consumers. I guarantee you, if the corporations had to pay the sales taxes, their prices would lower. Why? Because they didn't want simple economics. The lower their prices are, the less money they have to pay to the government. So let's pass that in Congress right there. Put sales taxes on the seller's part, not the buyers. Sales taxes should be on sellers. They're called sales taxes, not buyer's taxes. I'm a buyer. I'm a purchaser. I'm a consumer. I'm a customer. It's not called a consumer tax. It's called a sales tax. A sales tax should be... Who should pay for it? The seller. Why? Because it's a sales tax. Common sense, logic. Why am I, the consumer, paying the sales tax when I'm not the seller? I'm the buyer. I'm the customer. I'm the consumer. I shouldn't be paying the sales tax. Whoever come up with this sales tax idea was a retard and an idiot. And it's unconstitutional. It used to be unconstitutional until the federal government decided to create a amendment to the Constitution that allowed people to get their taxed for buying for income tax. Income tax used to be unconstitutional until they created one of the amendments to the Constitution, which should be abolished, because I shouldn't have to pay any of my income to the government for what? What is the government doing for me? Nothing. So, making life harder on me. That's what they're doing for me. Making life harder. The government didn't guarantee me a job. The government isn't making sure the crime rate is 0%. The government is more tyrannical than anything, because they keep passing more and more and more laws, which more laws equals more tyranny, less laws equals more freedom, less laws equals less crime, less laws equals less criminals, less laws equals less prisons and prisoners in said prisons. Man, I had a talk with these people, and I explained to them what they need to be doing, not what they are doing, and they just don't get it. It's a shame that the police don't get a simple concept. Arrest the politicians. They are criminals. Arrest them when they break laws, remove them from office, and give that money to the police department. Do not raise taxes. You want to stop urban blight and fix up all these buildings? Eminent domain. Duh. We got people, rich people, who own lands and lands and lands and strips and strips and strips of nothing but abandoned houses and buildings. Abandoned houses and buildings. Government has the right through eminent domain to confiscate all these abandoned buildings, abandoned houses. What are we going to use? How do we solve the homeless problem? Confiscate the abandoned houses and create homeless shelters in these abandoned houses. The government will own the houses, so we won't need any warrants to come in any dang time we want to and make sure that they're not doing prostitution and drugs and criminal activities in these houses. Now, all these abandoned buildings like strip malls and whatnot, it costs $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, whatever, depending on where you rent, to lease one of these locations for a small business owner. Small business owner wants to try to lease one of these places. Oh my gosh, it's going to cost them an arm and a leg to do so. Every month. If the government would confiscate these abandoned locations and then give them to small business owners who want to start a small business there, these small business owners wouldn't have to pay the tax. They wouldn't have to pay the rent, the lease every month, which they could use that lease every month that they were going to spend $500 to $5,000, depending on how big the location is, to fix up the locations and bring them up to code and stuff. The government can confiscate them, give them to the small business owners who want to try. Small business owner fails, all the government has to do is reconfiscate it when the business goes out of business and give it to another person and let another person try. And they can keep trying and trying until they make it. It's simple. Redistribute wealth. That's a way to redistribute wealth. Take all the properties from the rich people that aren't doing anything with them, give them to the homeless and the small business owners. Let the small business owners open up businesses, save them the $500 to $5,000 a month, which they can then put toward the remodeling of the location. Let the businesses run while the remodeling's being done. Just like if I do a remodel in my own house and you do a remodel in your own house, you can do it because it's your own house. Inside your own house. But the laws on the books right now that need to be eliminated are, if I hire a contractor to do it, I can't be in the house while the contractor's doing it. If I am a business owner, I can't do the work and remodel my business location while also still running my business, which is retarded. I should be able to work on the building while selling stuff inside the building. I think the laws are retarded. They need to be abolished. And the problem with the laws is we have these stupid insurance companies which don't want the liabilities. Because we got all these stupid people who sue over stupid shit. So first, we're going to have to make the insurance companies accept the liabilities, or we're going to have to eliminate all these stupid lawsuits. One or the other. Preferably both. Less laws. Unless the laws help the people out. We need more laws that help individuals out, corporations. Phone? So that's a little bit of a vlog rant for today. Remember, God's good all the time. All the time that God is good. Anybody who listens! Damn! Jesus loves you. Keep. I am. If a big shot watches this, gosh. I hate when people interrupt. I'm talking to anybody who will listen and watches this video. Because I'm going to post it on YouTube. It's called a vlog. A video log. I'm ranting and raving like people do. About something actually important. I'm actually ranting and raving about something important, unlike most of these people who just rant and rave about, I don't know, their day or comics or fiction or movies or something. I'm actually ranting and raving about something that actually is important. Real life instead of fictional life like most people deal with. Now, I do like videos where people, talk about... And I might do some videos where I'll talk about, like, stuff like that. Comment down below something... If you'd like to see a video of me ranting and raving about, I don't know, a superhero or a television show, comment down below the television show you'd like to hear me rant and rave about. I'll tell you what I like about it and what I dislike about it. I might have to look for it on DVD or on a Showbox app or something so that I can watch a couple episodes or a season or whatever, and then determine what I think about it. Comment down below if you want to hear me do a video on that. Anyway, that's it for this video. Have a great day, and if you agree with me, like. Oh, by the way, a thing I'm really heavily debating on is putting my name on the ballot. I know according to the election laws, I just need like 100 or 200, something like that, signatures. I just need, I think 100, it's 100 or 200 signatures, which is not that hard to get. And I can put my name on like anything except, I think, Shelby County Sheriff. Sheriff is like really, I have no idea why the sheriff's office is so ridiculously hard to get on the ballot. It's got like a myriad of requirements, which I don't even meet one. So, except maybe the age requirement. Yeah, well, I do meet that. That's about the only requirement I meet for the sheriff. But mayor, city council, excuse me, county alderman, court clerk, even judge doesn't even have all these requirements. All the other offices in Shelby County and the city of Memphis, all they require is like 100 or 200 signatures, and which you would have to get those signatures for each position. You couldn't use the same 200 to apply for like 20 different positions, but it would be cool if you could, but you can't. You have to have them sign a different form for each thing. But anyway, like all the offices, all of them, they only require those signatures. You file, you might have to pay some kind of court costs or whatever to file. Secret way to gain revenue. Tax that you shouldn't have to pay. And then you have to go get the signatures within an allotted time period. Then you go back up to them and you hand it to them. And what I've heard is you should get twice as many signatures as they tell you to. That way, anybody who is also running, because people have told me that if you run for office, your opponents have the right to see who signed, and they have a right to contest signatures to try to get you kicked off the ballot. Which means if you run for office, you have the right to do the same thing to them. So that's why most people say that you should get 2 to 3 times the signatures that are required. So if you're required to get 100, get 200 or 300 signatures. Because the more signatures you get, the less likely someone's going to want to go through all that list and contest to try to get you down to less than 100 so they get you off the ballot. It's dirty politics, but I don't know the election laws in your state, but in my state of Tennessee, that's the only rules. Literally, the requirement, I mean, I can literally run for governor on that same premise. I only need that many signatures. Now, it'd be stupid to run for governor, or it'd be a joke ballot, but I still could get on the ballot as governor as long as I run an independent. Because if I try to claim a third party, I have to have even more signatures than regular if I run as independent. State of Tennessee does not like third parties. They have laws in place to make it harder for a third party candidate to actually run in the state of Tennessee because of signature rules and other things, which is retarded. Because if you run as a Republican or a Democrat, you don't have to obey but the same rules that the independent runs for. But if you run as a Libertarian or Constitutionalist or Green Party or any of the 101 different third parties out there, yes, there's a lot of different third parties, Veterans Party, etc. If you run as any of those other third parties, now that doesn't mean a third party can still endorse you if you run as an independent. Matter of fact, a third party can endorse a Republican or a Democrat. They do it all the time. So why would third party candidates try to run as their actual party in the state of Tennessee when it's so hard and complicated to get on the ballot? I don't know, but they did it recently in our governor's election. We had like 11 or 12 libertarians that worked their butt off to get on the ballot in the state of Tennessee, and all of them ran for governor, which was stupid because, I mean, but they actually ran a campaign to show that the election laws are retarded. That's really what they were running about. Now, if libertarians could get together to do something just to show that laws are stupid, they need to get together to do something intelligent, because honestly, the Libertarian Party, it was cool to do that, but wouldn't it have been cooler to get a Congress member, a person in Congress, and change that law? Or a senator and change that law? That would have been, more intelligent than trying to get 11 people to run on the governor's ballot so that you could show that the law is retarded. Come on, libertarians. Y'all went about this wrong. Should have got Steve Cohen replaced, or a senator in office, or whatever. Come on now. I thought I was doing this video, but I guess I'm not. Anyways. That's my little political rant and rave vlog. Go vote. I'm pro-constitutionalist, so vote for the Constitution as much as you can. Most of the politicians, Democrat, Republican, even some of the independents, which I like to try to vote third party if I can. Unless, of course, the third party is just socialist or communist or whatever. I'm not going to vote for socialists and communists. Capitalism, constitutionalism, yes. Others, no. More freedom, yes. Less laws, yes. More tyranny, no. More authoritarian, no. And if you can't find anybody worth voting for, you can always write your name in or write my name in. Jeffrey Scarborough, always write my name in. If you can't find somebody worth voting for, put your own self in or put myself in. And another crazy campaign law that they actually have is here in the state of Tennessee, you have to be registered to be a write-in candidate. Which means if you really write in your name, that vote is basically essentially not going to be counted. I think that's how the law works. That law's stupid. I believe all write-in names should be counted. Everybody's name who has the legal, constitutional, state constitution, city constitution, charter, county charter, United States Constitution, whatever, Constitution. If you have the constitutional right to run for the particular office, to be elected for the particular office, your name, if it's wrote in, should be included in the ballots. Now, we know that God is in control of the government. His ways are not our ways, so that's probably why a lot of people are probably going, what are you thinking, God? What are you doing, God? Why is our government so messed up, God? Well, Revelation is God's end game. So, you do know that the end game, before Jesus is coming back, everything has to get worse. Everything has to get worse. Like, so worse that people don't even believe in God anymore, practically. They don't even worship Him correctly anymore. They don't even worship Him rightly anymore. I mean, Jesus can't come in a thief of the night if everybody's expecting Him. So really, Christians are expecting Him, or supposed to be expecting Him, but it's going to be a great falling away is what it says. So yeah. But anyway, God's in charge of government, and Revelation's the end game, so government in the world and stuff, it ain't going to get better. It needs to. It'd be cooler if it did. But if we actually are working toward the end times and end game here, then stuff is going to get worse. More wars, more violence, more crime, more killing, more murder, because of the falling away of morality and Christianity and God's and godly, goodly values of the Bible and stuff. Now, a great revival would be cool. And we should, as Christians, of course, pray for that. All the time.